Am I the asshole? For giving the silent treatment after my GF son spilled in my car? I yelled fuck and pulled over to clean it up. After cleaning it up I got back in the driver's seat and just drove. I was bloody livid but knew fighting or arguing over this wouldn't solve anything. Still I was in no mood to talk so I just remained silent for the rest of the ride, only giving short answers when spoken to. I dropped them off at her mother's and kept driving. When I reached my lodging I saw a message from my GF calling me dickhead for giving them the silent treatment and making her son feel like shit over an honest mistake. AITA? Not the asshole. You clearly told them no food or drink before they got in. If they were hungry, they could have had water or something with a cap or lid. Did she even offer to clean it? She should have used that opportunity to teach her son respect for someone else's property instead of expecting you to give them a free pass. Not the asshole. Your car, your rules. I also don't allow children with food and drinks other than water in my car. When your GF gets a car of her own, she can allow her son to trash it. Not the asshole. You made it very clear how important the car being clean is to you. They ignored your boundaries and exactly what you were afraid of happening happened. Not the asshole. Honest mistake? No. She bought slushies. They cannot be consumed quickly, so she knew they would end up in your car. This is a perfect example of the difference between accident and unintended results of taking an unnecessary risk. Not the asshole. I'm so confused about the AITA verdicts. The boundary was clearly set, GF crossed it and didn't try to fix it. Had you been screaming at a child who made a mistake, then duh. I'm not really sure why people are expecting you to be happy and jolly when you'd already said no food in the car to keep this exact situation from happening. Have seat cleaned professionally until the spill is gone, GF pays for it. And absolutely no eating in car, ever again. Not the asshole. You set a firm clear boundary. Your girlfriend ignored it. And that resulted in your car getting messed up, which is what you feared. Your response ignoring her was proportionate to her offense. She doesn't care about you, dude. Not the asshole. Your GF is definitely the She essentially does not respect your property nor the boundaries you set. Red flag. Not the asshole. She made the active choice to disregard your boundaries, and now wants to darvo. Get out now. This situation only gets worse. You're not the asshole. You set boundaries, you communicated with your GF and she straight up ignored them. I'd have either waited or told them to toss him out. They're lucky you gave them the benefit of doubt. Sucks for you it backfired. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. And anyone siding with the mom no kid needs a slushie. That's not food, it's junk. If he needed a drink, water would have been just perfect and something no one had to worry about if some spilled. How entitled. Not the asshole. It's best to stay silent rather than blowing up and saying something hurtful that can't be taken back. Especially to about a child. Not the asshole. Normally, I'm not a fan of the silent treatment, but it's understandable in this situation, given that you were very upset about what happened but were nonetheless stuck in a car with nowhere to go to cool off. Your girlfriend really sucks not only for completely disregarding your one and only request when riding in your car but also for teaching her son that it's perfectly fine to ignore and disrespect other people's boundaries. Not the asshole. Your girlfriend obviously doesn't respect your car, your money, your rules, or your feelings and is teaching her son to have the same attitude. Is this really someone you want to be in a relationship with? Not the asshole. You saved up for something and you ask people to be careful with it. So they should respect your rules. Not the asshole. I remember when my husband got a nice sports car. This was 12 years ago. At least he didn't allow us, me and the kids, to eat in it for several years. The difference was we had a family car for travels with we had options. Your GF should have never ever gotten in the car with all that sticky sugar and the color could permanently stain your interior. If she doesn't offer to pay for if she has skills, offer to clean it up correctly herself. Then this isn't the woman for you. Not the asshole. You asked her not to bring the slushies into your brand new car to avoid exactly what happened. Not the asshole. Your GF doesn't respect you but you should have been more assertive and had them finish it before you left the gas station. Not the asshole. Why wasn't she checking her son and making sure he didn't spill his drink? That was on her to ensure. Not the asshole. She stomped on your boundaries. She not only dismissed your concerns, she actively refused to accommodate them in any way. Then what you feared would happen did happen, and now she's angry at you for being upset. This is not someone I would want to be in a relationship with. She should have bought them both water. Eaten the food before getting in, or they can just be late. Not the asshole. Not the asshole you had a strict boundary your GF manipulated you into breaking. And then when the one thing you were trying to prevent happens, they started treating you like you weren't allowed to be upset? No bruh. I would have called their bluff cause ain't no way, especially since that argument you ended up having anyway took up more time than it would have to just eat their food and go. Added misspelled some words. Not the asshole. Messy things and kids don't mix well in a car. She was showing poor judgment by giving in. Not the asshole. Your GF disrespected your boundaries. She's responsible for making sure her kid isn't hungry or thirsty. She should have taken him a bottle of water or something harder to gotten him a slushie which makes everything it touches sticky and gross. But how old is the son? Not the asshole they could have at least offered to have the upholstery cleaned. Info did the slushie clean up completely or did it stain? Not the asshole. You were angry, and she knew, and the only way you could control your anger is to stay silent. I think she would have rather you be silent instead of screaming at them. She needs to apologize and get the stain out herself since she completely ignored your request for no food or drinks in the car. Not the asshole GF it's her responsibility to have it detailed. You were clear in not wanting food or drink and she manipulated until you gave child spilled it so she is responsible for clean up, assuming her child is young. Not the asshole you tell them from the start and they didn't listen. Not the asshole. Your GF is the otho for failing yo respect a simple boundary and for going off on you after you gave them a ride. Not the asshole she agreed to your terms, then she went back on them when she bought the slushie, then she didn't pay enough attention to her kid to prevent a spill, then got defensive and blamed you because you were upset that exactly what you thought would happen did happen. Do yourself a favor and dump her. She proves she doesn't respect your boundaries or your personal belongings and that she isn't willing to admit when she is wrong or apologize. Not the asshole. This is not the silent treatment. This is being very angry and not venting. And waiting until you have cooled off before discussing it. Which is 1,000 times better than all the drama and people blowing up in this sub. Not the asshole. This is a breakupable offense, in my opinion. That slushie probably got under the seat and into carpet and everything. I'd make her pay for a full detail on the interior of the car. Not the asshole tell your girlfriend her son shouldn't feel like crap, she should. Let her know to explain to him that she was the one wrong for insisting they bring the drinks. So, for me the silent treatment is usually AITA territory, because if you don't communicate you don't solve problems. But this was not the silent treatment, you responded when spoken to, and didn't say any of the intemperate and unconstructive things you were thinking. Your GF is not calling you wrong for the silent treatment, she is complaining about you being angry. You had every right to be angry. She is not validating your position. She is not apologizing for a mess you did everything you could to avoid, and made clear at the outset was important to you. She is the asshole. Not the asshole. Not the asshole bordering on ESH only because, even though he's 9, I feel like this was his mother's fault. I can see her being upset if he feels bad about your reaction. But she shouldn't have suggested this or even let you clean it up. She should have been immediately apologetic and remedying this situation herself. AITA. You told them the rules and they disregarded it by purchasing something they knew wouldn't finish before entering and didn't have them in cup holders the entire time. She could have easily done the meal at home before leaving altogether. You didn't yell at either or call names, and didn't charge her for a detailing. Depending on the material it could have sunk in and stained so fast. Not the asshole you made your boundaries known they were not respected. Not the asshole it's not honest when they gave an ultimatum. Not the asshole. My car is no food car. My husband car is the food car hot mess. Your girlfriend should have parented and she should not gotten the slushie. Not the asshole. The joys of dating are people with kids. SMH. The GF made the mistake here. Not the asshole she knew and it sounds like she did it on purpose. Not the asshole, but info how old was the kid? And there's a difference between the silent treatment absolute refusal to communicate for long periods of time, leveraging for an apology, and taking some cool down time because you don't want to say anything you regret. It sounds like you did the latter anyways. How old is her son? I feel like that makes a huge difference. AITA. She didn't even apologize or try to help you clean it up? The first words out of her mouth should have been an apology and offer to have it cleaned professionally. Dump her run. Not the asshole. Send her the bill for detailing. Not the asshole. I would also be pissed. You asked them not to eat or drink in the car and they did. Your girlfriend is Ta. The title makes you sound like DA. But you had beyond reasonable expectations and plenty reminders and tried multiple times to prevent a spill from happening. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Yes, accidents happen and there is probably a nicer way to express your emotions when dealing with a child. However, this situation should have never happened. She pushed your very clear boundaries. She does not respect your property or your boundaries.